Guys and girls, it's Know It time!
So guys and gals, here we go. Part 2 of my lesson. What? Cooking show. I got it. I'll be on TV for about 4 seconds, and that's about it. They say get off the stage, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. No, I got to top 20 in Canada, and that was it. Yeah, you need to be top 3. Yeah, but you got to be in the top 3 to make it on TV. So I'm like, darn it. Part 2. Oh, is it not on? Oh, that would help. In Vancouver, there were about maybe 800 competitors in Vancouver. And that's only Vancouver. They competed in Montreal, Calgary, Toronto, and Halifax. Okay. Yeah, am I making you spring rolls? Please. Please. Systems of equations. Cards. So part 2 really is about practicing, and it's about using other techniques. I'm going to give you a question, and this came straight from your book, so again, I'm not going to hide it. It is going to be y plus 2x equals to x squared minus 6. X plus y minus 3 equals to 2x squared. Now, many ways of approaching this. Most of you are used to the idea of elimination because all you have to do is line them up and just add and subtract. But I'm going to forbid you to use elimination. I'm going to say solve by substitution. Because in exams, remember, you have to be able to work with both methods. Substitution. Substitution is a tad bit tricky in that you got to just look in general. Okay? There's no right or wrong equation to work with. It's just easier or harder. Choose an equation right now and choose a letter that you think is the easiest to isolate for. Equation 1 or equation 2, doesn't matter. 2. If you work with the equation 2, so a lot of you say, hey, Mr. Let's work with equation 2. What can you solve for? You can solve for y. So solve for y in equation 2. Get y by itself. You can solve for x, it doesn't matter. It's the exact same thing. So a lot of you say, hey, let's isolate for y. Y equals to 2x squared minus x plus 3. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to substitute this into my first equation. We don't sub it back into my same equation. We sub into the other equation. So I'm going to highlight y for you. See, I'm going to highlight this y. Highlight this y. We're going to sub it into this equation. See what I did? I just sub it in. Guys and gals, go ahead, sub it in and move everything to one side and you should be able to do it. Like I said, some of you like substitution better. Some of you like elimination. In universities, I think substitution is the main method that a lot of students use. 2 Come on, my ink kind of died. 2x squared. See, I'm going to sub it in. Minus x plus 3. All this really is the y parts. That's the y parts. Plus 2x equals to x squared minus 6. Again, I haven't done anything new. All I did was I substitute. Move everything to one side, equate it to 0. I'm going to pause it and let you have. So I'm going to move it to one side. 2x squared minus x plus 3 plus 2x minus x squared plus 6 equals to 0. Okay, just simplify. Nothing too bad. That gives me x squared plus x plus 9. Oh, there's the squared. Equals to 0. Allow you to say, hey, Miss Snow, I can't do anything. I'm done. So allow you to say, hey, no solution. Because I can't factor this. But you forgot one thing. Quadratic formula. When factoring doesn't work, there's another method that always guarantees, well, not guarantees, but there's another method. So no solution is really wrong. Just because you can't factor doesn't mean there's no solution. So what we're going to do is going to use quadratic formula. I asked you to memorize this formula. Here we go. Just read. What's the first part of the formula? What's the first part of the formula? Negative b is correct. What's the second part going to be? Plus minus. B squared. C over 2a. Remember, the quadratic formula solves over x. It's 2a. In this case, I don't know if this works out. If the quadratic formula fails, there is absolutely no solution. But we'll find out whether it fails or not. So I'm going to use the quadratic formula. Some of you say, hey, Mr. Snow, what the heck is ABC? ABC is really the coefficients. There's an A, B, and that's your C value. So sub it in. Okay. So we're going to sub it in. Negative 1 plus minus 1 minus 4 times 1 times 9 over 2. Okay. Negative 1 plus minus, figure out what goes inside the square root. Minus 35. What's the square root of negative 35? No solution. So in this case, look at this. You have no solution. You were right by your assumption before, but my math proves it. Just because you can't factor doesn't mean that there's automatically no solution. Question?
Once you have x squared plus x plus 9, can you just move the 9 over and then square root both sides and then divide by 2?
Why can't you? Here's the reason why. So you're going to say, hey, Mr. Snow, why don't I just move this over? X squared plus x equals to negative 9. And then you decide to square root the whole entire thing. The problem is when you square the left side, how do you square root this part? That's where you want it. This doesn't just get the x to disappear, because there's that x there. Okay? If there's no x, then yes, you can do it. But because you have that lonely x, you can't do it. And besides, even if it's no x, you still can't do it because of the negative 9 part. So guys and gals, this is an example of no solution. This is an example of substitution and elimination. So you have to know how to do both methods. A bit more challenging this time. Good luck. And then, after this, I'm going to give you your supernova question for today. And I'm debating if should I do a team challenge or an individual challenge? Team challenge. Oh, please. Please. Here's your next question. It's going to say solve using any technique besides copying up the person beside you. Somebody saying, but Mr. Snow, you said any technique. I just looked at the person on the exam. Solve using any technique. Three x squared minus x equals to y plus 2. 4x minus y equals to negative 6x squared plus 4. Right off the bat, it looks complex. Guys and gals, I'll leave it up to you and how you want to do this. But for those of you that are going to follow along, if you want to keep it consistent in my method, most likely I'll do elimination. Okay, I'm going to do elimination. But if you want to do substitution, you get the exact same answer. But my method I'm going to use is going to be elimination. I'm going to pause it. Alright guys, so if you're lost, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to set it up. Okay, The key, I'm going to use elimination. Elimination is all about setting up and just matching it. Oops, sorry. The key, so I'm going to just set it up. I'm going to go right in order. 3x squared minus x minus y. I'm going to leave the constant on the right side. Leave all the low numbers. It makes life a lot easier. Okay. Now, I'm going to do the exact same thing. 6x squared plus 4x minus y equals to 4. See, exact same concept. Now, we play the game. Harneet. Am I adding or subtracting? Sorry? Subtracting, good. So I'm going to do a little negative sign right there. I'm going to subtract. Negative 3x squared minus 5x equals to negative 2. I'm going to move the 3x squared and the 5x to the right-hand side because I don't like that negative stuff. So if you move it to the right side, just get 3x squared plus 5x minus 2. Guys, gals, go ahead and, oh, I forgot, equals to 0. Factor and solve. See, this is why I've been training you how to factor. If you can't factor this, you're going to be in trouble. Negative 6. So it'll be x plus 6, x minus 1. Whoa. Is it opposite? No. Okay. Now, don't forget to do one more thing. Divide it by 3. Yeah, some of you didn't divide by 3. See? Divide by 3. If I do this correctly, I should get x plus 2, 3x minus 1, x equals to negative 2, 1 over 3. That's my x value. I'm not that pleased. The worst thing that you can do is do this and say, so my answer is negative 2 and 1/3. This is wrong. That's not a coordinate. These are my x values. You got to go back and find y. So we're going to say this. I'm going to start with x equals to negative 2. I go back to any one of those equations you like. Okay, it doesn't matter which one. I'll probably work with the first one. It looks simpler. And I'm going to sub it in. So you go 3 times negative 2, just double check, squared, minus negative 2 equals to y plus 2. See? I didn't do anything hard. I keep it simple. So I'm going to work with this out. This becomes 3 times 4 plus 2 minus 2 equals to y. Y equals to 12. When I write my final solution, notice, look what I'm going to do. I'm going to write down negative 2, comma, 12. That's one solution. Guys, gals, there's another one. Your job is to find the second one. I do the exact same thing. I go x equals to 1 over 3. You may need your calculator for this one, but it's not that bad. Okay. X equals to, I'm going to do the exact same thing. Watch what I'm going to do. I go 3 times 1 over 3 squared minus 1 over 3 equals to y plus 2. Okay. Again, I go 3 times 1 over 9 minus 1 over 3 equals to y plus 2. Okay. Again, very basic, no tricks. Would you agree? Then this gives you 1 over 3 minus 1 over 3, y plus 2. I don't need a calculator because 3 times 1/9 is 1/3. Guys, gals, go ahead. You're almost done. Y equals to negative 2, and your number answer is 1/3, comma, negative 2. When you write your answer, notice how I'm writing my answer. Negative 2, and I would circle this. Okay? I don't write negative 2, comma, 1/3. I have to solve for x, and then I have to solve for y. there's how I work with my systems of equations. I'm going to give you your SuperNode question for today. This will be a row team challenge. Good luck. And I'm going to give you a hint on how to do this. Okay? So here's what you're going to do. I'm going to ask you to basically, you can just do it. Close your textbooks. You're going to need one, well, everyone's going to probably want to try it on their own. So I'm going to say one question from here, because so that way you don't know what the answer is. Here we go. Here is your team challenge. Close your textbooks. On the textbooks. Here is your team challenge question for the day. Whoop. You're going to show me full work. This is your question. Let me explain to you how this is done. Here's how this is done. There are two numbers. One big, one small. The sum of the smaller number and twice the larger is 46. The square of the smaller is decreased by 3 times the larger. My answer will be 93. What are your two numbers? Show me full work. The key to doing this, I'll give you a hint. The key to doing this is creating two equations. If you are stuck, level 1? Level 1 is just these regular cards. Level 2 is when it starts kicking in. Oh, wait, when you get it, I'll show you. First of all, now, S, let's say equals to small number, small. L equals to large. Okay. Really, the key is to read it line by line and come up with an equation. It says two integers, sum of the smaller and twice the larger. So sum means add. So I go x, oh, not x, I'm using s. What am I talking about? S plus 2L equals to 46. That's what I'm going to do. Keep it simple. Here's where people are going to get mistakes. It says the square of the smaller decreased by 3 times the larger. The result is 93. Jason, sorry, Yuvraj, what's your equation for this? Yep. Yep. So what's the equation for this? So it'd be S. Yep. 3L equals to 93. Once you get up to here, you can use any technique you like. I'm not going to force you. I'm going to use elimination, because I don't know, elimination is probably my favorite technique. What? Who, where, when, why? Okay. I'm going to multiply this by 3. I'm going to multiply this by 2. And you have 2S plus 6L, 3S, sorry, wait. Long day today, equals to 46 times 3 is, anyone with a calculator? 138. Okay. Then that gives me 2S squared. Now there's going to be some weird S here. For now I'm going to use 0S. Minus 6L equals to 93 times 2, 186. I'm going to add the two equations together. Okay. All we're going to do is we're going to add. If you add my two equations together, you should have 2S squared plus 3S equals to 138 plus 186. That's like 324. I'm going to move it to one side. 2S squared plus 3S minus 324 equals to 0. Now, the numbers are kind of huge. That's why it'll give you a lot of time. You're going to factor. And if you did this correctly, you should have S equals to 12. And then what's the other one? Some decimal number. No, we're 13. Oh, over 2. I reject the negative 27 over 2 because I gave you a hint. I said these are integers. Integers means they have to be whole numbers. Okay, integers. That's what integers mean. Whole numbers. Come on. So now, S, I'm going to go cross this out, reject. So basically, this becomes S equals to 12, sub it in, and you should get L equals to 17. And your two numbers are 12 and 17. That's all there is to it. Guys and gals, your work for today. You get a quiz tomorrow. Your quiz, I'm going to ask you three things. Substitution, elimination, and Page. 452. Numero 4. I want you to try 5. I may have to explain 5C because there's a lot of heavy-duty fractions, but I'll let you figure out. Try 5 if you want, but 5 will not be tested. 4 and 5. 5, put a star beside this because I go to explain tomorrow. Question. What's going to go up? This one? That